Rest Day. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 232 of our Supersize Your Business annual challenge. Today we're talking about, and all this week and all this month, we're focusing on spiritual aspects of our business, spiritual health and well-being. And today's topic is the Sabbath, which means a day of rest. It's one of the oldest spiritual practices there is. You know, if you ascribe to and read the Bible, it says God rested on the seventh day. It's been around for a long, long time, right? Since the beginning of everything. And it doesn't matter what we believe spiritually or about a higher power. What matters is, are we taking time to recharge our batteries? And are we setting an example for the people that are part of our organization? Now, this is one of those topics that we're talking about, that when I look in the mirror, I'm very much do as I say, not as I do. You know, I try to do that with our kids as well as with the people that work with us in our businesses. But the truth is, they are always watching. They're always modeling what we do, because that to them is the picture of success, right? They want to do what we do. So if we're not modeling the best practices for good humans and to create the business that we want, we're not going to get the results that we want. This applies to actually every area and aspect of our life, but especially in our businesses, because they are a lot like raising a family or having a family. Again, we can say something till we're blue in the face. We can tell our kids not to do something, but if it's something that we're actually doing and they witness that, all bets are off. So taking time to rest, recharge our batteries, take care of ourselves is critical for both us as humans as well as leaders in our organization. It doesn't necessarily mean, and I'm saying this because this is true of me, that you need to take a full day off from everything. The definition of a Sabbath, a day of rest, is, I suppose, more officially a day that you do no work, no productivity. You spend all your time with your family and your loved ones, and then your higher power, you know, interacting with that, being present in your life. Now, I would say I've not always been present in my life. I spent at least 2 decades literally running through my life. It didn't turn out so well. So I look back now and I notice that I have a tendency to still run through my life, even when it's not required. It hasn't been required for me to run through my life since probably 2004. That's a long time ago for me to still see that I have some of those behaviors and tendencies show up in me on a pretty regular basis. And I think it's because I started to think about this rest day today, or last night I started thinking about it as prep for creating the video. And I realized that my ego, my identity, my sense of self-worth is tied to being productive, being helpful, being of service to others. And if I want to do that, and that's what my identity and ego is tied to, not doing that is like not breathing, not eating, not taking care of myself. And so I need to do a little work, you know, on my mindset and on my thoughts and my beliefs and things, and ask myself, is that really in my best interest to continue that way? Well, I'm always going to be of service, right? I'm always going to help people whenever I can, because it's just who I am. That is my identity. But it doesn't mean I can't incorporate rest into my repertoire too, which I absolutely positively do. I do things that people would be like, what? Why are you doing that? I will just randomly walk outside and just stand and breathe for a minute or two, just at certain points throughout my day. I will do other things like that. I'll just stop what I'm doing and go for a walk. I will walk out of meetings that are not in my best interest. I haven't done that very much, but I remember the first time I did it, and it's the lesson still sticks with me. I just had a sudden cardiac arrest, gotten out of the hospital, lucky to be alive, and I was involved in a meeting for one of my businesses, and it was with the city council. It was with a neighboring business. It was the most ridiculous meeting I had ever been a part of. And I looked at my city council owner. I looked at my ex-husband. I looked at one of our business partners. I shook my head and I waved and I turned around and I walked away. And it was the best thing I ever did. It was me exercising my personal power to not participate in something that was such a waste of time, as well as emotional, spiritual, physical energy at a time when I was recovering from a really big life event. And it was just like, no, I choose me. And I just walked away. And guess what? The whole situation resolved itself in a way that the other person knew that they were being absolutely outrageously ridiculous. and and I didn't need to be a part of that decision. So resting, we have to keep in mind, resting is not laziness. Taking a breather, taking ourselves out of a situation that's going down the tube fast is not only self-preservation, it sets a good example of when to fight our battles or when to be involved in something and when to say, this doesn't have to be me. Someone else can participate in this. Somebody else can make this decision. Somebody else can make this choice. Someone else has the ability, probably better than me, to actually lead this part of the organization. So today, our challenge is going to be to take a day off this week. It doesn't have to be today. It doesn't have to be Sunday. It can be whatever day you want. But I'm fortunate because most of the people I'm in a coaching program with are traveling this week. I'm not. And so I actually have a lot more free time than I usually do. It's like yesterday felt almost like a vacation. Got to hang out with my granddaughters and do some other things because I wasn't tied to calls and things. And so that was kind of awesome. And so I got a little recharge of my batteries knowing that we don't have to be on all the time. We just have to be ourselves, and we have to be a continually improving version of ourselves. So today I challenge you to share in the comments below, how are you going to practice this? How are you going to, and check in with your sense of self, identity, ego, and worth, and ask yourself, am I always on and doing everything myself because I feel like I have to be in control of everything and it will fall apart without me? Which, to be honest, that's not true. We tell ourselves that. We actually believe that at our core, but it's not really true, because if we weren't here tomorrow, the world would still go on. And I know that's really a shot to the ego, right? Oh my gosh, like if I would have died, the world would have still gone on and everybody would have been however they were going to be without me. Only I would be different. Only I would be gone, right? So is that really, do one person can make a difference? Yes, but one person doesn't make all the difference. So I guess I'll think about that today too. If I can help you in any way with this topic or any other topic that we talk about, reach out and ask. That's what I'm here for. I am here to help. That's my identity and my purpose, right? So reach out. You can get me on Voxer. You can get me in our free school community. If you'd like an invitation to that, it's where we talk about all of these business topics. And I've been in a lot of businesses, so I got a lot of actually real world experience and real different industry experience, which I love sharing with other people because I think that there's so much power in that. And there's so many things we can learn in one area and apply to another. Yet the vast majority of people don't even know that because they've only ever been in their one lane or their one industry. All right. Well, make it an amazing day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.